Talk to me about what I've been hearing from Andrew Mitchell talking to us yesterday, saying that Rishi Sunak should stay on as leader until November. Do you agree?
Well, look, I think it's important that there is some stability at the top of the Conservative Party as we determine how and the length of the leadership election that we're about to undertake. And, you know, Rishi, as leader, gives us that certainty, gives us that continuity, and I hope he finds it within himself to carry on whilst we get our house in order and select who is to succeed him and lead us into the next election in 4 or 5 years' time.
So that's a yes?
Yes, from my perspective, I think he should stay.
There is a vacancy as well in Scotland, I think, for the Scotland leader. Any interest there?
And look, I'm very much focused on standing up for our veterans community within the shadow cabinet and holding this new Labour government to account. That's what my job is, as well as representing the good people of West Aberdeenshire and Kincardine who saw fit to return me to Westminster just 2 weeks ago. So no, I've got no interest in leadership at a UK or indeed a Scottish level. OK. You will, though, need some stability. You say holding the Labour Party, the government, to account. You do need some stability. That, you think, will be in the form of Rishi Sunak until, I'm guessing, your party conference? Well, the party board, the 1922 committee, all of the organisations that are in charge of, you know, working out what the process will be and what the timeline will be are meeting almost as we speak, and so much more details will be coming out in due course in terms of when the leadership election will take place. Obviously, lots of focus will be in and around. I'm not on those organisations. Those meetings are going on as we speak, and more details will be coming out in due course. But obviously, the party conference will be a real focal point and a time for us to demonstrate to the country what the Conservative Party of 2024 onwards stands for, what our vision is, and who our leader is going to be.
And what qualities does the new leader have to have?
Well, I think that they've got a tough job on their hands. You know, we've got 121 members of Parliament. We've got to unite, and we've got to take the fight to the Labour Party. We've got to, yes, show them all due respect. They've just won a very handsome majority, and we wish them well in their endeavours. But we've got to come together and hold them to account. So this new leader has got to be able to bring us together, demonstrate to the country that we are a credible opposition, that we are a credible government when the time comes in 4 or 5 years' time, and that we ask the searching questions of the Labour Party that need to be asked, because good governance depends on good opposition. That's what we're determined to offer over the next few years. So
you need to move more to the right?
Absolutely not. I mean, that's for the party members to decide who the leader is going to be. But I think that the Conservative Party does better when it commands the centre ground. That's where we have done better traditionally, and that's where we command most support in the country when we do so. So it's not for me to determine where the party goes. That's for members of Parliament in general and indeed the party membership.
So not Kemi Badenoch then?
Look, I mean, I'm not making any declarations of support for any one candidate, but as I said, the party needs to appeal to a broad spectrum. The party needs to appeal to a broad spectrum in the country, both those people that voted Liberal Democrat in the last election that might have previously voted Conservative, and people who drifted off to Reform this time, and indeed the huge numbers of people that didn't turn out to vote at all. So there will come a time when I'm declare support for a candidate, and that time may be coming quite soon.
Which names would you like to see in the hat?
Well, I think all the names that have been suggested so far, all of them, would be great leaders of our party moving forward.
Like
all of them offer a vision of conservatism for this country in 2024. Well, you know all the names of. I mean, you mentioned Kemi. There's Tom, James, Pretty. There's all the names that have been mentioned so far. All of them worthy candidates. All of them worthy of consideration. And all of them have a lot to offer our Conservative Party and indeed the country as we move into the next half of this decade.
Apparently, analysis has suggested that incompetence was why people believed your party performed so badly at the election.
Well, look, there's a whole host of different reasons why people who maybe previously voted Conservative did not this time around. We're going to take time over the summer to reflect and interrogate why that was, why we suffered the defeat that we did. But
is incompetence part of that, do you think?
Look, I think I'm very proud of our record in government. I'm very proud of where we left the country, the economy growing, inflation down, and us moving in the right direction. But as I said, there's a whole host of different reasons why people chose not to support us.
If it's so fabulous, why didn't people vote for you? I wonder.
Well, this is exactly what we've got to investigate over the summer, and it's important that we do that. It's important that we take time, take stock, look at where we are, look at where we need to get to win back the trust of the British people when the question is next asked, who do they want to form the next government in about 4 or 5 years' time, that we present a credible alternative to the Labour Party, and that's our job right now.
I've been seeing what the Speaker's been saying over the weekend. He's, especially given what's happened with Donald Trump in the United States, he says it keeps him awake at night, concerns about security for MPs at the House of Commons and when they're in their constituencies. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think it's quite sad, really, that on what should be one of the greatest days of their lives, new members of Parliament are presented with a panic alarm as one of the first things that they are given when they walk through the doors of that fantastic building over the road. I think the safety and security of members of Parliament is really important. There really has been a coarsening of the political discourse in this country and indeed around the Western world. We saw the horrific scenes in America just over the weekend, and we have to do everything we can to ensure that we're allowed to have those full and frank and open debates, but they need to be conducted with civility, and that, of course, the safety and security of members of Parliament, and indeed all in public life, because it's not just members of Parliament, it's those engaging in reporters, broadcasters, columnists, all of them face threats, and so we've got to ensure that.
What's your advice for new MPs?
Look, I mean, this is a job like no other. You've got to be accessible. You've got to get out there, meet your constituents, meet people, engage in the public sphere and engage in debate. And it's really important that we don't let threats get in the way of our being able to do that and get in the way of doing the job. And I don't think new MPs should either. But of course, they've got to take safety and security incredibly seriously, just to be mindful of their surroundings, be mindful of who they're engaging with and what they're doing and what they're saying. But no, we should never let threats of violence get in the way of our democracy and allow members of Parliament and indeed those that are holding us to account to get on with their job. OK,
but just to look back to where we started, you'd like to see Rishi Sunak stay as the leader, at least for now. Would you like him to continue on as leader going forward?
Look, I don't think that's an option. I think the Prime Minister has indicated, Rishi has indicated, kick the habit, so that he will be moving on when the time comes. But it's important that we have that stability at the top of the party whilst we get our house in order, whilst we get the leadership election up and running, and whilst we select the person who will lead us forward into the next half of this decade.
OK, it's good to see you. Thanks
for
taking the time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.